Hey everyone, today we're going to do this quick overview of this reconstruction plan for Gaza. This was submitted by the Egyptian authorities just today, and it's a 91-page document. This has nothing to do with the Trump type of plan. This is made by Egypt. There's no relocation for the Palestinians, and so I translated some of it, and hopefully we can go through some of it. So basically, in the summary, there's about like there's like the political situation over here. They talk about the humanitarian and the economical situation. That's the chapter, and there's like three phases over here, right? So there's phase one, phase two, phase three, and that I translated just so we can all follow. Hopefully, I can zoom in a little bit. And so it says the recent war on Gaza. This is just an overview. I don't know how. I'm not gonna go through the entire document. It's very long. It's not 91 page, but let's just read a little bit. It says. The recent war on Gaza and the unprecedented humanitarian catastrophe that the Palestinian people are experiencing is the greatest evidence of the need to exert more effort to reach just settlement that preserves the Palestinian people legitimate right to an independent state that lives side by side in peace with Israel. Therefore, the need to launch a clearly defined political horizon consistent with international law have become more urgent than ever. It's not an exaggeration to say that the implementation of the two-state solution will remove the main cause of instability and conflict in the Middle East, thereby establishing a comprehensive and just peace and opening the door to a new phase of a normal relationship, etc. The plan is based on preserving the right, dignity, and humanity of the Palestinian people and the horizon of the two-state solution, which is considered the optimal solution from the perspective of the international community and international law, as it responds to aspiration to the Palestinian people to restore their rights, foremost the rights, etc. It's not a natural. So basically, this is just like giving an introduction. It says the Gaza Strip is an integral part of the Palestinian land. Previous experiences have proven beyond any doubt that attempt to entrench the geographical and political separation between Gaza Strip and the West Bank in order to prevent the establishment of the Palestinian state will only result in the destruction hopes of peace. That's also true. I find it very weird the fact that you have the West Bank over here and then the Gaza. It's like they're and then you're in the middle. Like that makes absolutely no sense to me. So it is illogical during the handling of the catastrophic crisis of that the Gaza Strip is experiencing and its people, the Palestinian, will cling to their land, that their desire and right to remain on that land are not taken into account, or that conditions are created to drive them away, deepening their injustice and threatening further tension and the expansion of the conflict to other countries in the region. Therefore, what is proposed in the plan for the reconstruction of the sector is the solidarity of the international community from a humanitarian standpoint above all, to address the humanitarian disaster created by the war while respecting the rights. So there's a lot of diplomatic talk, and we have to say this, we have to say that. Basically, this is an official document. So by maintaining the ceasefire, the international community must give its utmost attention to supporting the effort of Egypt, Qatar, and the United States to solidify the ceasefire agreement in Gaza and work to maintain the stability. So we're not going to read all that. That's too much. So for the upcoming phase, there's like security in the Gaza Strip. On the other hand, in order to enable the Palestinian Authority to return to the Gaza Strip to carry the government's task, Egypt and Jordan are working on training Palestinian police elements in preparation for the deployment in the Gaza Strip, which should be supported by mobilizing political and financial support and effort from an international and regional partners, with the possibility of considering more countries taking on this role. Also, in support of those efforts, it is proposed that the Security Council study the idea of international presence in the Palestinian. As far as I read, this all seems good, right? And like I told you, it's a long document. I can't read everything. We probably just go over the phases. So here they mention something about the direct negotiation must begin between the Israeli and the Palestinian with sponsor, guarantor of their choice during the transitional period and without precondition and based on international parameters, with the aim of reaching an agreement regarding final status issue, including borders and Jerusalem. So the agreement, I mean, there was a peace deal like for about like 50 years. That's something they never tell you on the news, which looks pretty similar to this, right? Anyway, so secondly, the humanitarian and economical situation. The most significant humanitarian and economic repercussion of the war, according to figure of the World Bank, the European Union, and the United States. By January 2025, approximately 47,000 Palestinians will have lost their lives, including no less than 13,000 children and 7,200 women, and no less than 110,000 injured. In addition to 1.9 million internally displaced persons, including families displaced more than once, more than 2 million Palestinians, most of the residents of Gaza have been uprooted from their lands and are currently facing shortages in all necessity, living unprecedented loss and need from famine, malnutrition, and spread of diseases, in addition to unexploded ordnance. So the total losses in the Gaza Strip are estimated at $29.9 billion, and the economic and social loss are almost $1 billion, right? While the total estimated loss and needs amount to $53.2 billion. This is the budget they allocated for the entire thing, like the reconstruction plan. The most affected sectors are tourism, with a total loss of $6 billion, education $3 billion, trade and industry $2 billion, social protection $1.4 billion, agriculture $1.3 billion. The sector that suffered the most damage or loss are as follows: housing sector with total loss of $16 billion, trade and industry, etc., and they sort them out. So the poverty rate in the sector have reached an unprecedented level, including the rise in employment rate, as estimates indicate that 4 out of every 5 people are currently unemployed in the sector. Estimates indicate that more than 95% of the educational sector establishments have been completely destroyed, and the remaining ones are currently being used as shelters. Additionally, the risk faced by 658,000 students in primary education and 87,000 students in secondary education due to military operation and aerial bombardment, as well as the fact that more than 11,000 students in primary and 700 students in secondary stage have been killed during the war. So those are just more numbers. Like, the more I read, the more it sounds like it's so shocking. So on the health situation front, more than 350,000 people are suffering from chronic diseases, and they did not receive treatment. There is also like the problem with the spread of epidemic, the lack of safe and clean conditions, amongst others. More than 1.8 million individuals have been recorded as suffering for various infectious diseases. In addition to the psychological trauma, well, let's not even talk about that, affecting almost all residents of the sector due to the continuous bombardment day and night. Anyway, we have the methodology, scope, and objective of the plan. We have the methodology for preparing the plan is based on the scientific evidence and clear, precise step to ensure the validity of conclusion, reviewing data sources and comparing them. The goal of the plan is to achieve early recovery and reconstruction of Gaza Strip by Palestinian hands, and to alleviate their humanitarian suffering while ensuring their stay in the land, rebuilding the sector, and addressing the extent of damage and losses the economic etc. Okay, so providing concerned parties with a comprehensive assessment of the impact of the conflict on the population of Gaza, physical assets, infrastructure, and basic services. Second thing, identifying the needs for reconstruction, physical and infrastructure, stimulating economic and social recovery, and restoring basic services in various sectors, ensuring the plan is prepared in a way that guarantees the Palestinian people remain on their land without any external displacement, while preserving the right of Palestinian refugees to return. Emphasizing that the path of early recovery and reconstruction is owned by the Palestinian people and led by Palestinian leadership, benefiting from previous experiences and study derived from past reconstruction cases of similar magnitude, updating the assessment based on the development on the ground. So this evaluation methodology, it says assessing the damage, adapting the needs for assessments, and providing a reference framework. Anyway, it says page 10, we have comprehensive data collection, we have the collaborative approach, there's like satellite imagery, social media analysis, and there's the document is very extensive. I can put a link to it if you want to read the whole thing. But so here's just the assessment of the damage. That's too much. What I'm saying, like I can't read all of that. It will probably take me too much time. Oh, what's going on? Yep. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so let's go to. So those are the estimates for the damage that was done. We have the economic of Gaza contracted by 83% in 24, leading to a decrease in contribution. Oh my God! Inflation in Gaza is 309%. Dude, 300%? How is it even possible? Food crisis. 91% of the population in Gaza face severe food insecurity, and the number is expected to rise to 1.9 million people. Collapse of healthcare. Well, you gotta stop bombing hospital, That's the reason. And bombing schools too. It's like you have almost 1 million children with no schools. Damn. So this is the last thing I'm gonna read. It goes into the phases. So implementation of the plan. It says early recovery, first phase, and then this is the second phase. So we're gonna read that, and then I'm gonna end the video. So the first phase, which is early recovery, is gonna last 6 months. It's gonna cost $3 billion. During which the process of removing the rubble from the central axis and the rest of the areas of the sector will begin toward the coastal collection area, as well as preparing the access in the link for reconstruction work, in addition to providing 200,000 units for temporary housing prefabricated to accommodate 1.2 million individuals, and starting to restore 60,000 partially destroyed units to accommodate 360,000 individuals upon completion of the restoration process during the subsequent phase. So that's the early recovery. It's gonna last 6 months, and it's gonna do what I just mentioned. Then we have the first phase. So it's gonna last for 2 years, and it's gonna cost $20 billion. During that process, we're gonna remove more of the rubble. That's gonna be completed. The restoration of 60,000 partially destroyed units. Also establishment of 200,000 new housing units for permanent housing to accommodate 1.6 million individuals, in addition to the 20,000 acres of agriculture land, and establishing the necessary facilities, network, and service building. System of water supply and firefighting and sewage will be established with the following components: 2 water treatment plants and 2 water storage tanks for drinking and fire, irrigation and water tanks, 2 wastewater treatment plants. Then the last phase, which is this one, is gonna continue for 2.5 years at a cost of $30 billion. This is the third phase. What this is the second phase, but the early recovery is not really a phase. It was just like temporary. So this second phase, the goal is to continue the process of establishing the necessary facilities, network, and service building. Pretty much the same thing. In addition to establishment of 200,000 new housing units for the permanent accommodation to accommodate the 1.2 million people. This will bring the total number of permanent housing units in the sector to 460,000 units, capable of accommodating 3 million individuals. In addition to starting the establishment of the industrial area of in about 600 acres for fishing and maritime trade, and the Gaza airport. We definitely need an airport over there. It's like crazy that it's like you have a country, no airport. That's not fair. Anyway, that's pretty much the entire thing. The entire the whole budget is $53 billion divided into the following early recovery, first phase, second phase. Then it goes into more details. I've scrolled previously. It says I completely lost it. Anyway, clicked on the wrong button and I've lost the thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the little translation. I can put the link in the description. If you have any comments, don't hesitate to share it down below. And see you next time.